Hello! Thank you for watching. I was thinking about what am I going to write for my weekly newsletter? And this is an ongoing issue. What am I going to write? What am I going to say? And I want to say something that is so interesting to my audience that they want to listen, that they want to hear more, that they participate with me. And so today's topic of the live is going to be, how do we create engagement with what we say? I have my wonderful friend, Sreelatha, here with me today. She is a wonderful coach and healer. So welcome, Sreelatha.
Thank you so much, Sandra. Thank you for having me. It's always nice to be on the same stage, on the same page with you. Um, and this is an interesting dilemma, right? Because in this age of social media, which is the main form of communication, attraction of clients, etc., creating content is so important. And so to learn how to create content that actually attracts your ideal customer is one of the biggest lessons to learn as we become better and better entrepreneurs in order to serve the people who need our services the most. So the idea, um, I think you're going to talk about this later, but in a certain sense, it's not just creating a newsletter for the sake of creating a newsletter, right? It is creating a newsletter so that the people who need your services will actually be attracted to you because your message comes through clearly. And and part of that is being extremely clear about what it is that you're trying to do in the world, who it is you're trying to serve, and all of that um, is a work in progress. We're always learning. I like
Yes,
to say living and learning, right?
an area that is um, commonly spoken of because it is so commonly experienced. I was at a networking meeting this morning, an in-person networking meeting, which is wonderful. And I talked about this and I invited people to my masterclass, which I'll talk about in a minute. And I said, so of you, how often do you do one of these introductory commercials and you don't know what to say?
Mm,
It's, you know, it's all speaking.
yeah.
It's all presenting myself and being interesting enough, whatever the setting is. You're talking to someone at the grocery store. How do you speak in a way that gets the person interested in interacting with you? And so it's all about this engagement. And one of the things that I like talking about is, how do I get into what the other person wants? If I speak into what the other person's need is, that's when they are likely to be interested. So at this networking meeting I was at this morning, it's like, I did that. It's like, hey, all of you have this issue too, right? And I had two people interested in my masterclass came up to me afterwards, right? Because I had touched on this issue that they see as, oh, that's something I deal with.
Yeah.
So when I am writing my newsletter, I sometimes really struggle with, okay, so what's going to be interesting enough for people to want to watch the video that I have in my newsletter and all of that. And learning to get better at it is, kind of an ongoing.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just thinking. So I have an ongoing series that I'm doing right now called "The Goddess Within," and a lot of the content for that is coming from blog posts that I wrote in 2016, right? And I've been thinking about it because I haven't. When I wrote those posts, I wrote them I mean, I wrote them partly because I was doing a certification on creative nonfiction writing, and the professor told me to start a blog post explaining Hindu mythology and stuff like that. So that's how I started it, but it then became my own thing, right? So it's a lot of it is, I think the way. So let me back up a little bit. I What I have done there is be very vulnerable about what my issues are, how I use the stories in this myth to work through them, what I accept about the scripture, what I reject about the scripture, and why this is important, and not just for people who follow my religion, but why there are messages. In fact, I believe in all spiritual on all spiritual paths that can help us live better. And it's really interesting to me that what how many years, 2016, 8 years later, now is when I'm actually doing something to reach out to other people and say, look, at this is what I wrote, that, does it resonate or not? And so I think a part of, um, I think that aspect of it, of letting other people know that you feel the same pain, that which is what you're doing, right? When you say, when I'm about to write this newsletter, I'm sitting there thinking, what am I going to write about? And when you say that, immediately everyone else who's been struggling with what to put in their social media, it holds their attention immediately, right? So that's,
Yes.
yeah. So I think that is one of the secrets of engagement that you were talking about.
Yeah. Well, and both of us are um, engaged in the intention of being speakers
Hmm.
and being up presenting in front of other people. And this is definitely a time when there's this, what am I going to say,
Yeah.
comes up, and that there's a point that I want to make, like, how do I bring it all to a point rather than random conversation all over the place?
Yeah.
And that it actually takes someone to an intended action
Yes.
for themselves. And yeah, that's all engagement,
Hmm.
participation,
Yeah.
all in service to helping the listener, the watcher, be better.
Yeah.
And that's what both of us want. We're
Yeah.
both healers. We're both healing types of people, always wanting to help people get better at being themselves, basically.
Yes. So tell me about your masterclass. What is your masterclass?
So the masterclass coming up is what to say, getting to aha for speakers and writers.
Mm.
So, and how I came up with that title is like, okay, what am I going to say? It's like, oh, that's a good topic. What I'm going to say. And then there's that moment where all of my,
Yeah,
that's, yeah, that awakened moment. And so I put that into my title, getting to
I
aha.
love it. I love it. Yeah. And how long is the masterclass?
It's going to be 90 minutes.
Okay.
And I have two of them scheduled. One is on Saturday, the 26th of October at 8:30 Pacific time, 11:30 Eastern time, because I know you're in Eastern. And then on Wednesday, the 30th of October at 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
So I decided to go ahead and give people two options this time rather than do one in the morning and schedule that one later in the
Yeah.
afternoon, to just schedule it that way.
Awesome. And is there a charge for the masterclass?
Nope, it's free.
It's free. It's free.
It's free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, there are some really common things that are taught about how to come up with things to say, and we'll cover some of that. But then some of it's just going to be me, like my personal stuff, just because, to make it more
It's your
personal.
masterclass. Yeah.
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 So it's like, I'm all about connecting with my purpose and being in alignment with my purpose. And so I'll talk about that within the context of what do you say and how do you be most most inviting and engaging.
Awesome. Yeah, it's just interesting. The session today that I had with the goddess within, I was talking about this thing about how in the myth it shows the goddess is so she's completely calm. She's manifested. She's manifested to kill demons, right? Demons who we say they're demons because they're disconnected from their own divinity, but she's meant to kill them and a whole bunch of armies, but she's just sitting at the foothills of the Himalayas swinging. She knows what her purpose is. She's not rushing forward to do anything. She knows that when she's supposed to do something, it's just a really validating way to be on purpose. And when we know we are on purpose, it is so much smoother. There's so much grace that comes with that knowledge. um, so so you will be talking about purpose in the masterclass.
Yes, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So will you be helping people to identify their purpose, or is it
Not
just?
not within the context of this
Yeah.
short event. Um, I'm going to have people think about um, what they want to talk about. What
Yeah.
think of a topic that they want to think about within the context of masterclass, so they can be working on something that they have
Yeah.
an issue with,
Yeah.
something they want to talk about. So have it be participatory.
Awesome. I love the idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so thank you everybody for watching us. I am Sandra Lee, energy healer, and going to be presenting this masterclass on Saturday, the 26th of October and Wednesday, the 30th of October. It's What to Say, Getting to Aha for speakers and writers. So there's going to be a link with the video for you to register.
Awesome.
Thank you, and thank you for being on, Sreelatha.
Thank
Change
you.
happens.
Good luck with this. Everybody should just sign up. Don't ask any questions. Just be.
Breathe, and change happens one action at a time.
Yes, absolutely.